What we want to look at here is a typical installation of a log siding onto a frame wall. There are some variations involved with this. We're working off a conventional subfloor this afternoon, but this could also be on a slab construction for, say, a garage system. It could also be up off the ground, maybe a second level for a dormer, shed dormer, dog box dormer, whatever the case may be. Very simple installation. The black paper that you see here is felt paper. There's also many cases, if we're doing a complete home using this system, this would be some type of house wrap that would be part of the package as well. So there are some variations involved. To get started, if this particular system was going to be matching a log wall that was maybe an extension of the sided area, this first course of siding obviously would want to be set in such a way that it would flow right into that log wall. For demonstration purposes, we're just starting out flush here this afternoon, not worrying about the subfloor assembly and that type of thing. So if Kevin could come in, we'll get started with this. Log siding corner extensions. When we say that, we're talking about these units right here. They do come in a left and a right-hand profile. They also come in different lengths. The reason for the different lengths is so we don't have this seam continuing right up the wall. It wouldn't look very natural that way compared to a log wall. So we do have different lengths of these units to stagger those joints as we go up through. The installation of these, you'd want to start out and go course by course. The reason we say that is the actual stacked height of the log siding corner extension may vary just slightly from the actual stacked height of the log siding itself. It's not very much, but anytime that we're working with this type of material, one of the concerns is that a cumulative error, if you will, can add up on us, and by the time we're up there a few courses, there may be a drastic difference in the stacked height of the corner extension versus the stacked height of the log siding itself. Due to that, as we lay each course one at a time, we want to split the difference between the different heights. There may only be a 1/16 of an inch variation, but if you think about it, by the time we were up 16 courses, for instance, we'd be off a full inch, and we don't want to see that happening. So be diligent about that and take your time and do one course at a time, and it won't end up being an issue for you. Okay, Kevin?
When we go to lay the first or the next course of siding, we go to put the stockade corner on. Take the corner, place it onto the wall, and draw a pencil line across the top of the tongue of the log. This is going to have to be removed in the field. We don't remove that notch here in the shop for you. Something has to be done on the job site. Once your log is marked, take a wood chisel and simply cut that marked area out.
Due to the way the end grain is on this particular part of that corner extension, it comes out very easily, as you can see. Again, you want to keep your chisels sharp and they'll serve you real well.
Take your siding corner, place it back up, make sure everything fits. When you go to put the corners on, the corners are going to be, like Claude mentioned earlier, in two different lengths. You want to make sure the end of this stockade corner, when it's cut, falls on the center of one of your studs in your frame wall. So you want to take that length, check it, and then mark your corner and cut that off according to what you need.
You'll also notice on the felt paper here, we've actually drawn a chalk line here where our studs are on the log or on the stud wall itself. That gives us a real quick reference on where those studs are, makes life a little bit easier.
Okay. There will be some caulking that gets installed on each corner extension. We'd want to place a bead of caulk right on top of the extension that is already installed. We don't want any water getting down behind. And when the corner is installed, you want to try to minimize as many face nails as possible. Okay, so we want to try to install the nails like on the top of the corner here, where they're going to be least noticeable. The nails we're using here today are 16 penny galvanized finish nails. Now you can also take some nails and place here on the end of the siding corner that will go into the stud. Again, you want to try to minimize the nails that are showing on the face. Take a nail set and set the nails below the surface of the siding. Now, if for some reason you cannot get the piece of siding to pull back to the wall or to the frame wall tight enough, there is nothing wrong with maybe 1 or 2 finish nails in the bottom edge that will pull that back tight for you. But again, try to minimize the face nails. Once your corner is installed, you're ready to install the piece of siding next. As Claude mentioned, you want to split any difference, if there is any, between the siding and the corner. Set the piece up there, look at it. If it's coming out flush, there's nothing you have to do. You're ready to install the piece. When you're installing the siding over top of one of the stockade corners, there is no tongue and groove on the top of the siding corner, so we need to apply a bead of caulk right there. And we also want to apply a bead of caulk where the siding is going to hit onto the stockade corner. That will keep any water from getting behind. Okay. When the siding is installed, again, you want to minimize any face nails. We recommend you nail down through the tongue of the siding into the studs.
Be careful not to destroy the tongue on the top of the siding when you're doing this. If you do miss a little bit, you might want to get in behind the tongue a little bit with a pry bar and try and get it back where it should be before you try to put the next piece down.
Now, the piece of siding that is installed over top of the stockade corner, you may have to put a couple nails at the bottom to hold that in place.
Again, be sure to use the galvanized finish nails that are supplied with the package. We don't want to have big-headed nails on the outside of your log siding.
When you get that row of siding on, you're ready to start the next row. Come back, take your stockade corner. Again, place it up. Take your pencil, draw a line across the stockade corner, and we'll remove that part of the tongue again. Now you noticed here when Claude places this stockade corner on, you can see the different lengths that he was talking about. We have a short corner and a long corner. What this does is staggers the joints so you do not have a vertical line on your project. Okay. caulking. Again, we want to apply a bead of caulk on top of the stockade corner itself. And we'll put the corner in place. Push it down. There you go. Okay. Again, try to keep as many nails as possible hid so it's not visible. Okay, when you have your next row of siding on, you go to butt the piece of siding up against the stockade corner. If you'll notice, we have the tongue and groove area on the siding. They do interlock, so that will mean that you only have to nail the top edge. Now, if you come to a connection and the bottom isn't fitting properly, there's nothing wrong with putting a finish nail in there. When you go to put the piece of siding up against the stockade corner, we'll put a bead of caulking right there to seal that up real well. I think I got it wrong.
Couple of things, you'll notice that the butt joints that we've used on the log siding where it matches the corner extension, also where the next piece of siding would be installed, actually are just a straight cut. Now, many people, and in many applications, say on a fascia board connection where they're butting end to end that way, many people will they'll want to cut a bevel on that to keep wood behind wood if anything ever moves. The bad thing about doing that with log siding application is, as you can see here, from the rounded portion of the log, if a bevel cut is done there, it creates a circular joint on the outside face, which looks quite odd when it's butted up to the next piece of siding next to it. Okay, so we do prefer to say it's best to just use a vertical or a straight cut on any connections on the log siding members. As far as window installation on this particular assembly, the best way is just to go ahead and put the window trim on the wall first and then cut the siding to fit around that trim. That seems to work quite well. You'd want to caulk all of those joints.
And this concludes the installation of the log siding and stockade corners. The next part we're going to cover would be the roof systems.